And I'm back to talk about macros. So, in case you saw the first one, you already heard this stuff, or you can stick around for my correction because I realized with my example with the avocado that I did, I just made it really confusing, and I'm going to do a simpler version. So I deleted the video. I'm going to make it easier. If you didn't see the other one, good, because this is the one you want to see. So I'm going to try to repeat what I said in the last video. It'll probably be a little bit shorter and more concise. So I want to talk a little bit more about macros. The podcast episode that comes out this week on Wednesday, there's a new episode every Wednesday of the FIS podcast. It's going to focus a little bit more, go into more depth on macros and how that works. But it's also going to compare mindful eating, intuitive eating, and counting calories and how that all compares with tracking macros. So one thing that is very important, you know, if you're like, I don't know what this stuff is about, do I need to know this? If you have big goals for changing your body composition, meaning changing, what I mean by body composition is losing fat, losing inches, changing the number on the scale, gaining muscle, changing the shape of your body, or changing the lean mass to body fat ratio, changing the presence of your being. That is changing your body composition, because there is a difference. Losing weight and losing fat, they are not the same. So it's important to differentiate. Maybe that should be a whole podcast episode. But if you have plans to change your body, or if you want to change your body, it's very important to track your food. Or the more important that goal is for you, the more important it's going to be to track your body. So if you track your food, I don't even know if that just made sense. I'm trying to remember everything I said in the first version of this video. Let me slow down. All right. If you want to make big changes to your body, the more dead set you are on reaching that goal, the more important it's going to be to track your food in some way. Now, if you're happy with your body, if you're not trying to make drastic changes, if you don't really care one way or another, cool. You don't need to worry about tracking your food. Also, if you have a somewhat of a rough emotional relationship with food, I would not recommend counting macros, because it can be a slippery slope, because I'll talk about this on the podcast episode, but it can lead people to become obsessive. I went down that road. I got really good at it. I liked doing it. It was easy for me, but it got to a point where I was scared to eat anything if I wasn't tracking it. And I realized that wasn't healthy, and I had to force myself to stop so that I could eat normally without obsessing. So that is something to consider as well. But what I wanted to talk about here on the video, the reason I deleted the first version was because I was trying to demonstrate with my scale, and I was demonstrating with a whole avocado, and I think I might have accidentally included the weight of the scale, even though I was showing how to not do that. But anyway, I'm going to show you, I'm going to simplify. So when you track macros, don't let the idea of math or portions, or, you know, don't let that scare you or overwhelm you. There is a little bit of a learning curve, but it's very easy. Like when I first started doing it, once you get the hang of it, it's so simple, especially with the help of an app. It really doesn't take up any significant amount of time at all. It might just take like an extra minute per meal, which is not, if that. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So like I said, especially using an app. MyFitnessPal is one app that is really popular. It has a gigantic database. I think they have over 5 million foods entered there, even fast food. Like even if you go to Taco Bell, you can enter that into the app, and it automatically populates everything. You can also scan barcodes. So if you had like a sports bar, you can scan the barcode, it'll automatically populate. So if you are thinking about doing macro tracking, which I'm going to be offering the coaching for that very soon, this week, getting everything ready, you're going to want a scale. Now, this is my scale. You can see it's all scratched up and doesn't look the most modern, because I've had this, I think, for at least 10 years. Probably definitely longer than 10 years. I got this at Bed Bath & Beyond. I think it was less than $20. They have tons of options if you go to Amazon.com. Any scale, there's so many to pick from. Don't worry about which one, just pick one that's in your price range. This one's just battery operated. The battery cap even falls off, so I tape it shut. But get one that can measure grams. And so what I wanted to just show you really quickly, so if you're going to be tracking food and portioning food, you're going to want some dishes. I recommend glass, not plastic, for, you know, just it's best to avoid the plastics. And then when I heat it, I take the lid off and cover it with a paper towel to avoid the toxins from the plastic lid when they're heated. But if you're going to use, you know, you've got your scale, you're going to use a dish, what you want to do is, in order to not, because you could put food right on the scale to measure it, or in order to not count the weight of the dish, you put it on there and then you turn it on. So make sure you do it that way. Now, just to demonstrate, I have 4 ounces of cooked chicken breast right here. And if you're vegan, I'm sorry to make you see this, but I genuinely am. But this was what I had that was convenient. Now, meat is typically what? Protein, right? So we've got the 3 carbs: fats, protein, and carbs. So meat is generally, you're going to count it as a protein. Now, let's say you got your macro plan and your portions and how much. So either me or another coach, this is the coaching I'm going to be offering this week, is I can calculate for you how many, give you your macro split that is right for you personally. So it's going to be very individualized, personalized for your activity level, your preferences, your goals, and your current age and weight and height and some basic things like that. And what happens is I will calculate it based on these things that you tell me, and I will give you, I have a manual. It's, as of right now, it's 18 pages with all the details and tips and things like that. But the main thing is going to be that it's going to tell you eat X amount of protein, X amount of carbs, X amount of fats per day. And that's what you're going to aim for. And nobody's going to be perfect right off the bat. So don't even stress about it. You just start somewhere and you just try to slowly improve day by day. And you will get very good at it very quickly. But let's say I came back, you hired me to do your macro coaching, and it came out that you were supposed to have, let's say, 150 grams of protein per day. So you, if you do meal planning, which I plan to talk about soon as well. So, you know, let's say you cooked up a whole bunch of chicken breasts and you start cutting them up into meal-sized portions, and you decide to have, so 4 ounces is not very much chicken, but I want it to be an even number. So I just have 4 ounces here. And what you would do, you would measure the 4 ounces using your scale. And then you would go to your app, say whatever you're using, MyFitnessPal. There's another one called My Macros Plus that does it. Or you can just Google. You know, if you don't want to use an app, you can just Google, and you get very familiar with it very soon. But let's say you are using MyFitnessPal, you would open it up and you would enter 4 ounces of chicken breast, and it's going to add to your daily total, so that you can see throughout the day, as you're adding in your food, you're getting closer and closer to the numbers that you're trying to reach for how much protein, carbs, and fats that you're supposed to reach each day. So that's kind of how it works. But I should have said this sooner, but if you're really unfamiliar with macros, so every gram of protein has 4 calories, and every gram of carbs has 4 calories, and every gram of fat has 4 calories. So that's kind of how some of those numbers get calculated, and to make sure that you're eating enough for your goals. Most people are not eating enough protein or enough healthy fats. So if you've never tracked macros, and you know, if you've got the mental space, if you're not too like overly stressed out to begin with, if you've got the mental space to try to learn a new thing a little bit, I would definitely recommend trying to learn about tracking your food, especially if you've never done it, because it really will open your eyes to what you're actually eating, because a lot of times it's drastically different from what you think you're eating, especially in the carbs area, because a lot of food has hidden sugar that you don't really think about. But like I was saying, most people are not eating enough protein, not eating enough healthy fats. So stay tuned this week. I'm going to be offering those. There'll be the option to just get your manual that's personalized for you, so you can take it and run with it. Or I'm going to do an option where you can do 8 weeks of macro coaching with me. That's going to include some things that I'll list out. And if you want adjustments to your macros, or if you want more access, like one-on-one personal questions and things like that, that would be the option. And I don't know the prices yet. I'm still figuring that out, but look for it later this week. And thank you so much for watching. Join the FitFizz Raw Energy Oasis Facebook group. I'm going to be sharing a lot more fun stuff in there. Every Wednesday, you get a free healthy recipe. Every Monday, there's a quick, easy challenge. And I'll have all kinds of other things on the weekdays for you guys. So thank you for watching. Join the group. Hope to see you there. Thanks. Bye.